And we are back on Sportsman Radio. I'm your host, Chris Schaffelt, and I'm now joined by Pittsburgh Steelers tight end Matt Spaeth. Thanks for joining the show tonight, Matt. How's it going?
Everything is going real well. I'm glad you had me on.
Oh, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And, Matt, I want to start this interview off by talking a little bit about your college days, as I see you attended the University of Minnesota. Was growing up in Minnesota a major factor in your decision to attend that university?
Yeah, it definitely was. For the longest time, I kind of thought I was going to go elsewhere. I thought I was going to go to Wisconsin or Nebraska. But just growing up in Minnesota and having my friends and family so close, that was definitely a major role in my decision.
And overall, how was your experience at the University of Minnesota?
Oh, I loved it. I wouldn't change it for nothing. I had a great time there. I met a lot of great people, a lot of great friends still. Got my degree and did well playing football, and I'm obviously where I am at now, because of that. So I wouldn't change it for nothing.
In 2006, you won the John Mackey Award, which is presented annually to college football's most outstanding tight end. What does that mean to you?
It still means so much to me. I kind of always say that, winning that award and being like a first-team All-American, it's something that nobody can ever take away from me. And no matter what happens throughout my career or how long I play in the NFL or how successful you are, I always have that, and that's something that, nobody can take away from me, and it's just a great accomplishment.
Matt, as we know, the NFL Combine was just a few weeks ago. Can you tell us how much pressure, if any, is on these future NFL stars to, do well in all the activities?
The Combine is a miserable time for the players that are going through it. I was there. I did not participate in any of the drills, the testing. I had actually had shoulder surgery just prior to that, so I was kind of there hanging out. But even just being there hanging out, it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of pressure. These guys are there for a few days before they get to work out, and they're pretty much busy from 6 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night in a very high stress environment. So it's tough for them on their last day to get ready and get prepared to work out and to test well.
In the third round of the 2007 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers decided to draft you with the 77th overall pick. Can you tell us about your draft day?
The draft day, I try to stay as far away from football and the draft as possible. I had a lot of friends and family in town, and we just kind of went out and played golf for the day and tried not sitting around watching the TV all day, because it'll drive you nuts watching it.
Matt, what was it like when you were in the locker room for the first time, getting ready for a game, and you saw the number 89 jersey with your last name on it for the first time? Was it like a dream come true?
Yeah, it definitely was. Being able to play for such a historic and storied franchise like the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's very special. And a lot of nerves before the first game, and even still to this day, you get a lot of nerves before you go out on the field. And it was good. We won our first game. I scored a touchdown in my first game, so it was a pretty successful debut, I guess.
Yeah, during your rookie year, you caught 5 passes for 34 yards and 3 touchdowns. Did you expect to be used more in the passing game, or did you know that you would be used in the goal line situations and as a blocker?
I knew that was going to be my role. They had and still have a tremendous tight end in Heath Miller, and he's their guy. And to me, he's definitely the most underrated tight end, and he might be one of the most underrated players in the NFL. He's a guy that does so much for a team, both blocking and on the pass catching end, and he's just a tremendous football player. So I knew that it was, we were going to be kind of a tandem, but he was number one, and he was going to get a lot more of the playing time and a lot more of the looks, and so I knew that was going to be my role.
All right, and during your second season in the NFL, you had 17 receptions and helped out the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Super Bowl, where you guys would take on the Arizona Cardinals and play in an absolutely great game where you guys would come out with the victory, 27-23. Matt, can you tell us about the journey yourself and the Pittsburgh Steelers as a team had to go on to become Super Bowl champs?
There's a lot that goes into being a Super Bowl champion. First of all, you have to be a good team. Obviously, a bad team is not going to make it to the Super Bowl. But you got to start off. You got to have a really good, there's a lot of things that go into it. You got to be healthy, you know, you got to be lucky, and you got to be hot at the right time. And you really need just about every one of those factors, you know, to get there and to win. So, you know, we all were, you know, really blessed and lucky to kind of stay healthy and have the great year that we did, and to be able to make it, and then obviously able to pull up the victory right there at the end.
You guys are listening to Sportsman Radio. I'm your host, Chris Schanfeld, talking with Pittsburgh Steelers tight end Matt Spaeth. All right, Matt, let's fast forward a few years to 2010, the 2010 NFL offseason, where the Bears would trade tight end Greg Olsen to the Carolina Panthers and give Kellen Davis a shot to start at tight end, and they also brought you in. What was it like for you to move into a new franchise like the Chicago Bears?
It was tough. It was during the lockout. The lockout had just ended. And when I became a free agent, it was right at the end of July or early August. I can't quite remember. So when I signed with the Chicago Bears, most teams were already in training camp. So it's a tough transition. It was tough leaving my former team behind and friends and family and teammates there. And you go into a whole new environment. But you know, I adjusted and I had a great 2 seasons and enjoyed my time while I was in Chicago.
And after just finishing this past season 10-6, you guys missed the playoffs, and on New Year's Eve, the Bears decided to fire head coach Lovie Smith. How did you take that news?
I was surprised. You know, there had been a lot of speculation that it might happen, but I know that we missed the playoffs, and that was, a major disappointment for all of us. I think it was surprising that a coach got fired for winning 10 games. There was a lot of teams, that would wish to be in our situation. A 10-6 is, a very good record in the NFL. It's tough to win games in the NFL. So I was a little bit surprised that they had fired a coach that just won 10 games.
Do you see any similarities in now your coach, Mike Tomlin, and Lovie Smith? Because as we know, you've had some time with both coaches.
I don't draw a lot of parallels between them. Their coaching styles are very different. Sometimes the messages that they would be trying to get across would be somewhat similar. But for the most part, they're both, I guess, defensive-minded coaches and more work with the defense throughout the week. That would be about the only similarity I see. For the most part, they're very different. Lovey's much more reserved and soft-spoken, where Coach Tomlin's very, vocal and a little bit louder and kind of he's always saying something, but he's always saying the right thing.
All right, and just recently, the Chicago Bears decided to part ways with both yourself and tight end Kellen Davis. Overall, how was your time in Chicago?
I enjoyed it. I got no regrets coming here. I enjoyed my time. It was just kind of a difficult situation. In the last week, they wanted to keep me, but I kind of, chose to part ways with them, and I'm just happy to be back in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform.
All right, and Matt, can you compare your experience at all between the, being with the Steelers and the Chicago Bears?
I mean, they're both storied franchises, and Chicago is the original franchise, and Pittsburgh's one of the originals in the NFL. So very storied. They both have very large fan base and passionate fan base. Those are kind of the comparisons I would draw.
All right, and one last question about the Chicago Bears, man, and that is, would you be surprised at all if the Bears decide not to bring back Brian Urlacher?
I don't know. I mean, yes, I would be surprised. It would be very weird to see Brian Urlacher in any other jersey than a Chicago Bears 54 jersey. He's, one of the great players of this league for a long time. He's been with the Bears for a long time, and he's probably will go down as one of for a team that has a history like the Chicago Bears and all the great players that they have had. He's going to go down as one of the greatest. So I definitely think it'll be weird to see him in any other uniform.
All right, Matt, it just came official just a couple of days ago that you signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Congratulations on that deal, and how excited are you to return to the Steel Curtain?
I'm pretty excited. It was tough leaving there the first time. I had a lot of great friends and teammates and it's a good city to play football in. It's a great organization to be a part of.
With Heath Miller jacking up his entire knee towards the end of last season, what do you expect your role to be this time around with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
It's going to be similar. It's going to be very similar, and I'm okay with that. I know that's my role, and I've come to terms that I have a role, and I'm the type of guy that's I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to, I'm not getting the ball as much as I would like. I'm not going to complain. I know I have a role, and I just go out there and do whatever I can to help my team win.
All right, that sounds good to me. Hey, Matt, before I let you go, I have just a few quick, fun questions to ask you. Does that sound good?
That sounds fun.
All right, Matt, what is your favorite TV show and movie?
Oh, shoot. I go movie will be Gladiator. TV show? Gosh, I don't know. Really anything on Discovery. I like a lot of the Discovery shows.
All right, favorite thing to eat?
Tacos.
Favorite sport besides football?
Golf.
Do you have any plans once your football career is over?
Yeah, I got a lot of them, but, it's tough for me to say what I'm going to do career-wise, because I don't know when my career is going to be over, and it's kind of one of those bridges that I'll cross when I get there.
All right, and last but not least, what is something about Matt Spaeth that many people don't know?
Oh, boy. I don't know. It's all out there, so I guess I don't have much to hide. I try not to hide too anything, and I don't know. It's a tough question. I get to ask that, and I can never come up with a good answer.
All right, I can deal with that. Matt, I really appreciate your time on the show tonight, man. It was an honor to have you on. Before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to plug on the air for our listeners?
No, just, Chicago Bears, I loved them. It was a good 2 years, and I'm excited to be a Pittsburgh Steeler again.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Matt. Take care.
Yeah, thanks.